Everything is new, Paul. Everything.
Talk to me. What have you done?
So, over the weekend, blew away the machine, as I talked, and reconfigured it, put in new storage, faster storage, more storage. So, all good.
Okay.
So we have a brand new version of Windows.
Yep.
We also got this thing. Let me figure it out here, which you may not be able to see. This is the Stream Deck. Can you see that?
So those little screens, like, do you get or do you?
Yep.
What do you have on top of those? Little icons.
Yeah, it's not completely done yet because I'm not completely fully set up yet. But now I have all of our stuff programmed, so I have to do less post-processing work, and I need to get some more macros set up to get everything else because we can do fun stuff. But part of this whole thing is we have new control schema over here.
Mm-hmm.
The audio stack has been completely rebuilt, so if the audio is off on this podcast, blame Paul.
Okay.
Definitely not me. So that is new. Obviously, Surface Book 3 is new. This thing is new. Everything is new. Every aspect of this podcast has been reconfigured, and I promise you set up correctly this time, and it will probably last that way for about 3 months until I completely try to change everything again. But
Nice.
So I'm missing one thing that I need. I need another mouse in my house.
You need a mouse in your house. Okay.
A fox on my box. Because there's fun things we can do now, Paul. Like if you have a thrilling story such as I do.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Look, we can now pull up web pages, but I don't have a mouse to control it from here.
Yes, I see.
So
this is the screen on the podcasting computer.
Yes, people will now see Petri, and then I can jump it over to the very fabulous Thurrott and bring it right back to us. And
nice.
that was definitely worth blowing away the entire machine to be able to do that. But there's other things.
Well, actually, I don't know how important this is to this guy. I mean, back when we got the screens, we did, the little podcast things. My argument at the time against that was like, look, I've recorded several hundred podcasts. I can assure you that what I don't need is a screen behind me. But one thing that is very useful, because you've been kind of using that screen in this way, and it's hard, is having the ability to do what you just did. Right. Yep. That's a lot more important.
It is. So once I have a nice wired mouse somewhere that I want to hook up to the podcast box, then I want to take the wireless mouse and bring it over here and then be able to screw with that or whatever.
Yep.
And then the other side of it too, which I totally just lost track of whatever. Oh, yes, I can now turn on and off recording from over here. Used to have to do it over there, which was a pain in the butt. Once something arrives from Amazon, I'll be able to actually control all the lighting in here from this as well, which is a minor thing, but it's, again, helpful because right now I got to use my phone because it's all set up through HomeKit. But just punching buttons and making.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds like you had a productive weekend.
Yep. This was like my Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
So blowing away the machine was actually pretty painless, actually. I mean, that stuff's very trivial anymore. So until this whole thing doesn't work and all people hear is some sort of garbled audio that is known as this podcast.
I'll never be able to troubleshoot. Well, I'm sure I'll be fine.
Yeah, we'll see. So we'll have some other fun magic coming too. Because the other thing, which we can't do yet, because Jan has to create them. But so if I do something like this, you can see a lower third.
Yep. So oddly, one of the weird things about this little broadcast for me is, and I've been trying to figure out if this is different from other Teams calls, and it is. I actually see our videos in the top, 80% of the display, but in the bottom is a strip, and I can see my little thumbnail of me.
Yeah,
but it's in the strip. It's not over the video.
So when there's some setting for that. I can't remember what it is.
It's okay. It doesn't matter. But when you brought up that little thing at the bottom, like the lower third, as we call it,
yes,
I only saw the very top of it because the rest of it was hidden under the whatever this bar is.
Oh, interesting. Well, the recording side appears to be okay.
Yeah, and that's all that's important.
Yeah. So, anyways, we're gonna have all those made and just bring it up just another level. So.
Nice.
Fun little macro setup. We'll see how long this thing works until I get angry at it and go back to what we were doing.
Right.
Speaking of things that made me angry and I'm not using currently, I'm putting a pause on my massive Newton mail migration.
Oh, what happened?
Well, so they have pushed updates to the app, which is great. which gives
Yeah.
me a sign of positive hopes. But here's the problem right now is that my Outlook account becomes deauthorized like after about 48 hours and just stops getting email. And I think they're pushing a lot of updates because I've already seen some UI changes and stuff, which is great. And I'm happy for these guys. But
So
I'm
maybe
not,
that's what's triggering the.
yeah, I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's just email. So like I can survive on just the mail app.
What a change that's
Yeah.
become. Because at the end of the day, it used to be it's all email.
Yeah.
Like it used to be the most important thing in the world.
Yep. So
Interesting.
we'll see. I have high hopes that they'll get it all figured out and sorted, but I don't really want to ride that roller coaster. I've already been brutally broken my heart in a million pieces by that app. I don't really need it again. I'm trying to keep a healthy relationship with
You're a Microsoft user. You should just be used to this kind of pain that happens over and over again.
Well,
the hope that springs eternal.
Somebody pointed out, because I was talking about the Sonos Arc, right? And this was a Microsoft employee, pointed out the Sonos Arc. They're like, why would you buy that after they're probably killing some of their old hardware? And I was like, you mean like the Band 2, the Band, all the Lumias I bought in my Zune? Hey, I have no idea why I would keep buying hardware that gets discontinued.
Exactly. But hey, I'm really looking forward to that Duo, huh? Because no, seriously, it's like the same people over and over again. Well, yeah, I was burned before,
The one thing you might have with the Duo though is that because it's running Android, the likelihood that like somebody could homebrew support for this thing is actually probably pretty high compared to say like the Band or whatever.
I think given the estimated sales of this device, home brewing will be part of the future. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got that going on. Google's got, probably Google, Amazon, and probably Facebook here in the near future are going to have some government talks, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, Google's already been found guilty of 2 antitrust violations in the EU and will no doubt be found guilty of at least 1 more, probably 2 more. But here in the United States, it's hard to even keep track of all the regulatory bodies that are examining all of the big tech companies. But, Google is under investigation for antitrust abuses related to its search engine and advertising businesses, which, of course, are commingled. And it's DOJ, several U.S. states. There's a congressional oversight committee that's like also got a finger in this. I mean, it's kind of hard to keep track of, but yeah, as soon as this summer, so possibly the end of next month at the earliest, they're going to be charged with at least 2 antitrust charges, and it's 1999 all over again, baby.
Yeah, it really is. Just fingers pointing different directions at industries that they have destroyed. So
yeah, it's the same basic charge. When you're dominant in some market and you're abusing that dominance to keep competitors out, and in doing so, you're harming consumers, which is the ultimate aim of antitrust here in the United States. Yep.
Yeah. So we will see. We've got a very long road ahead on that stuff. I'm certain. But
yeah. No, this stuff moves slowly. I mean, and it's funny because with the COVID thing, it seemed like for like a month or 2 there, we were just going to forget about all the bad stuff with big tech. It was like maybe big tech can save us. The other thing that's going to happen, of course, is there's a presidential election happening in the fall, hopefully. And if there's a little regime change there, we'll see. The DOJ or whatever might get new marching orders. I mean, that doesn't stop states and other regulatory bodies from doing the thing, but we'll see.
Yep. And then we've also got the Build conferences starting tomorrow.
This is a big week. Yeah.
Yeah. Which somewhat, I don't know if we've mentioned this or not on the podcast, but so Google, Microsoft, and Apple all announced their Build show or their developer shows, right? And only Microsoft was the one that was able to keep it the same week, same time, same place. I mean, obviously online, but Google just flat out just said, we'll just get rid of that.
I know. I thought that was weird.
And then Apple obviously delayed theirs, 3 weeks or something like that. Microsoft was the only one that was able to keep it on, schedule as much as you could.
And you can make an argument that Microsoft is in the part of the country that was hit hardest and hit first.
Yeah, they were. I mean, they were nuked first by this stuff.
Yeah, so good on them. I mean, and it's a 2-day event, not a 3-day event or whatever it was going to be before. And they've cut down on all the stuff that frankly would have made it tedious anyway, like the hour and a half, 2 hour long keynote address and all that kind of stuff. So I like the focus. I like that it's going to be developer focused, almost entirely, which is what it should be.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
looks like some good stuff.
That kicks off, is it 8 a.m. Pacific time, I think?
Mm-hmm.
So 11,
Tomorrow, yeah.
11 Eastern or
11
whatever time
Eastern.
that is in your local demographic. Or as my computer thinks I am, in Seattle. So maybe just check your computer clock.
Yeah.
Because whatever. Windows and time never really worked out well, ever. I don't understand it, but
That's true.
yeah. I mean,
So
this thing is,
Windows
I
and
am,
time zones, hilarious.
I reset it up, which I'll give them credit. Okay, you set it up, so it probably thinks it's in Seattle. Fine, I'll take that. But I'm logged in with my MSA. I'm also connected to the internet for that matter.
Yeah.
It still has no idea where I am, but whatever.
See, mine's set up right now, but a lot of times you bring up a Windows device, it's got the wrong time zone, wrong time, whatever. And then you kind of go in and you're like, well, I want to change the date and time. And then it's like, you have to turn off like the time automatically to change it. Then you want to change it back to, it's like this, you click like 8 different buttons and, do all this manual baloney. And it's like, can't you just, the phones just do this. Like, why can't you just do this?
Yeah.
It's weird.
Yep.
But, Windows, it's the gift that keeps on giving.
It is. And we will be getting a bunch of gifts probably this week related to the ye old Winders. And
yeah, I mean, I think it's fair to say it's probably going to be mostly Azure, but Windows will be part of it. And we're looking for a little clarity where there has never been any.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
so we are.
I don't know if I would be holding your breath for that. Personally speaking,
I think saying there will be a little clarity is fair.
A little, yeah, okay. We'll agree to disagree. I would agree with a little.
A little. That was the focus.
A little, sort of like the Surface Go. Just a little.
Yeah.
Little slice of whatever.
Slice of surface.
Yeah. All right, you got anything else for today? While we all hope and pray that this podcast worked.
No, I guess not. Oh, you need to, I think you need to repost the Friday episode if you haven't.
It should be, yeah, I don't know.
I think it was lost in our great disaster of Friday or Saturday morning, whatever that was.
Yeah. Which we'll probably have more on that later, maybe. All right, later, everybody.